Right now, my wife and I, we are involved with the Cedar Bend Humane Society through fostering a couple of young puppies. They were left in the ditch, probably to be forgotten, but fortunately the organization got a hold of them. So from there we are in the process of moving them through some ills that they had. They had some parasites and they had some troubles for obvious reasons being left in the ditch like that. So the Humane Society were wonderful to set things up to where we could give them the care simply, if you will, is very simply explained to us, and we were able to convey that care to them. And so that's what we've been doing the last few weeks.
I never knew that you could foster with the potential to adopt. That was like a whole new eye-opener for me. When Jim had called and said, this might be the best of both worlds. We have an opportunity, we could foster these puppies to see how this would work for our family. What we stepped into though, we had some pretty sick puppies that came to our home. There were 3 different parasites that they were tested positive for. They were infested with fleas. They had matted fur, they've been itching, so they've got some skin issues. I came home with several medicines that I had to give them with eyedroppers and syringes or through their mouth. I learned how to give a puppy medicine. They just weren't healthy. They were found in a ditch.
That process to get the puppies ready was an eye-opener for me and for my wife, again because of the physical care that they needed and because of the emotional care, maybe some stability there. So, that's where the volunteers, I think, are so important within the organization and the financial contributions, because we know that's not cheap from having puppies beforehand, but to have those resources available and ready for us. And we could have maybe afforded what we brought in or what was brought in, but having it there, having it available, did make it a real nice, smooth transition.
We came home with every possible supply that we could have needed, and that was out of no expense to our pocket. It was just provided for the puppies. We've had the puppies now for about 20 days, and along with that has come some medical visits, has come special shampoo for their fur, medicine that I've kept in my refrigerator to help keep them healthy. If the funds and resources were not available at the time that the R2 puppies were brought into the Humane Society, I think that impact would have been not positive. I think it would have been extremely difficult and heartbreaking to see what would happen.
We're involved with the shelter as a foster home for the Homeward Bound foster program. The program selects dogs that maybe are not doing their best in the shelter, maybe they don't show well, and we'll bring those dogs home and socialize them, train them, get them comfortable, and then we're able to have people come and see them in a natural home setting. I think the shelter asks us to bring home dogs as fosters to give them a better chance at an adoption for a forever home. There's dogs that we have brought home that we've seen their behavior was completely different in the kennel as opposed to when we bring them home.
Just like us, dogs show a lot of anxiety and nervousness, and so when they're in a shelter that's kind of high stress for them, they're not who they might be in a home. So by bringing them to our house to foster them, people can come and look at them and see how they are when they're relaxed and comfortable. I think the care that we're able to give our fosters helps them by allowing them to open up to someone, since a lot of times our fosters have shut down and aren't very willing to trust. We give them like a safe space where they can start to learn to trust people again. We're kind of giving each foster a new outlook on life and giving them the opportunity to find someone that's gonna love them forever and give them the care and attention that they deserve.
Abby and I are in an organization called Pet Pals, and we go to the area nursing homes, hospitals, schools, many different situations. We've even gone to organizations that want us to speak, and I tell them the story of her life. She had been left in the basement in March. The people had left her there and moved out. And when she had been brought into the shelter, she had lost both the tips of her ears due to frostbite. She was very dehydrated and weak, could hardly stand. They didn't think she would make it. And she survived, and the shelter helped her to survive. It makes me feel really good that Abby can give back to people and the community the shape that she was in, and now she's doing a great service to everybody, including me.
The spay-neuter program makes a huge difference in the community. Just one, by having every animal altered, that helps with population control. You hear all the time, well, there's stray cats over here, there's loose dogs over there. Having all of your animals spay and neutered is going to help that immensely, and I don't think people really understand the amount of animals that come in not being fixed. We're open 7 days a week, 365 days a year. On an average, we get 10 to 15 animals coming in every single day. And from there on out, they stay for their stray hold. If they're not picked up, they stay with us. We have one building that's just filled with adoptable animals that are 100% ready to go. And then we have another building that's filled with all of our stray animals, all of our owner surrenders, all of our dogs that are in the process of being adopted. Like, there's so many steps that we take to get to that adoption process that there is a little bit of a waiting for other animals that are coming in. So we're constantly housing hundreds of cats, dogs, guinea pigs, rabbits, anything and everything that you can imagine, just to help our community out. If we didn't have the spay-neuter program and the funds stopped coming in for that, it would immensely affect not only us here at Cedar Bend Humane Society, but also your community at large too. That would mean populations going up. That would mean more animals, more cats and dogs are coming in unaltered, and you'd be seeing a lot more stray dogs, cats roaming around in your neighborhood, which you don't necessarily see right now.
Cedar Bend Humane Society's TNR and Barn Cat program is a program designed to help those cats that are feral or unadoptable into home environments. This program has been huge, and how it works is that anybody from the public can bring in feral cats entrapped if you're within the city limits of Cedar Falls or Waterloo. We do have a vet on staff that does do the spay-neuter for these cats, and then we will release them back to the locations if they come from altered, ear-tipped, and with a rabies vaccination, so that way they are a healthier animal and they won't be reproducing. When we receive feral cats that can't be released back to their original location, we then find farmers or acreages that will take these cats, spayed or neutered and current on vaccinations, so that they can have mouse control or just outdoor cats for their farms. The partnership between the City of Waterloo and the City of Cedar Falls has saved many lives of feral cats. I have seen hundreds of cats come through here that have now been placed into barn homes or returned back to the location that they come from, which in the past has never been an option. And to have this option for feral cats, not only are we saving the lives of these cats, but overall it's reaching our goal of saving every animal that we can. These feral cat lives do matter, and we all do want to save them. Just because they're not adoptable cats that can go straight into someone's home doesn't mean that they're not important. Doesn't mean that they're any less of an animal or that their lives don't matter any less. These cats are an important part of our society, and then people do enjoy them. And for us not to be there for these cats, I mean, that's what we're here for. And when we can save these cats and do better for them, that's everyone's goal.
Like any business, we have our normal bills that we have to pay on a monthly basis. If we don't get additional funding, sometimes we have to make choices between caring for an animal or saving an animal or doing surgery for an animal. We operate on almost $1 million or over $1 million budget at this point. For us, half of our funding, or almost half, is raised through our services and programs. The other half we have to raise through fundraising, and this is through community support. And if we don't get that, there's a lot of things we can't do for the animals. I think it would make a huge difference for the animals having a new intake center. Right now, we've kind of outgrown it with all the animal intake. We've outgrown it with the programs and services that we provide. We do spay-neuter surgeries out of there, as well as other surgeries. For me, being over budget in finance, that's a very, very hard decision. You know you have to cover the normal bills, but if you can't help an animal, it's just heartbreaking.
The Cedar Bend Humane Society handles over 4,000 animals annually, and I would say 99% of those animals all enter our facility with some sort of medical need. whether it be they just need vaccinations, whether they need to be spayed or neutered, whether it's something more serious like a surgery or an injury or an infection or an upper respiratory. And that's probably our biggest challenge, keeping the animals healthy and having enough money to be able to treat all of those animals. That's probably one of our biggest goals and challenges that we strive to do every day, is just to meet the needs of the sick and injured animals that come through our doors. You know, a lot of people criticize the shelter because they say, well, don't go there, that's where all the sick and animals are. And that's true. I mean, if we weren't here, those sick and injured animals wouldn't have a place to go. The nice thing is with community support, we've been able to grow some of the programs that we offer, so we're able to treat all of those animals. The challenge is to continue to keep funding coming in the doors to continue to support those. We've come a long way in the last few years being able to treat as many animals as we can, and we really need the support of the community so we don't go backwards. You know, I don't think the community realizes how big a part they play in saving the lives of the animals here at the shelter. The staff, they're the ones that do the work. They're the ones that do have the hands-on. They're the ones that come in every day and clean the kennels and treat the sick, and the vet is the one that comes in and performs the surgeries. But if it wasn't for community support, none of that would happen. We grow to meet the needs of more animals, but with that growth, as a result, we need additional funding, additional support. So the challenges kind of stay constant year after year, and we're always trying to find new ways to help more animals. We're always reaching out to the community and seeking additional support for our medical program, for our spay-neuter program, because although these are great programs and we've worked really hard to establish them, the reality is if we don't have continued to support for these programs, then they will cease to exist, which means we would fail to help the animals in our care.
I don't have the key, so just let me in. And I can't say that I understand, though I've been where you've been. I sent a letter to your heart. I hope it changes its tune. And even if the weather doesn't clear, I'll be here to get through to you. 'Cause I wanna be that keeps you on earth, so you don't go flying back to where you came from. I wanna be the happiness with arms open wide, show the world what you have become. And I can't promise it'll be okay, but I can promise you that I will stay. Got a handful of problems, and I can't say that I understand, though I've been where you've been. I sent a letter to your heart. I hope it changes its tune. And even if the weather doesn't clear, I'll be here to get through to you. And I don't have all the answers, but we can wait it out and we'll see. I can't tell you when it will be over, but it'll be easier next to me. Because I wanna be the gravity that keeps you on Earth, so you don't go flying back to where you came from. I wanna be the happiness that lets your arms open wide. I'm not afraid of who you've become, and I can't promise it'll be okay, but I can promise you that I will stay.